Good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, we have discussed a lot about the problems with municipal services, and in particular when it comes to sewage, and how sewage is now being openly directed into the rivers of South Africa, which is a great thing to try and keep disease out of the population, isn't it? And to try and keep the water clean. Go figure. Well, a new government report blows the lid on what's actually going on. A new government report has painted a bleak picture of the ecological health of South Africa's rivers, finding only 15% in a good condition. Not a great condition, not an excellent condition, a good condition. The rest are worse. And these few sites, ranked in A, B, B or C, B, C categories, are mostly located in the upper reaches of catchments, according to the Department of Human Settlements. Water and Sanitation River Ecostatus Monitoring Program, State of Rivers Report, in 2017-2018, presents results for 364 sites spread throughout the country. Around half are in a moderately modified condition, or C category. The report says only the Vaal River Water Management Area, or WMA, has no sites in a good or better than C category condition. And that's not surprising when you think of the amount of sewage, tons of sewage pouring into the rivers every single day. It found that about 4% of sites are in an unsustainable DE to E condition, generally located in urban areas and subjected to modified flows and habitat alteration, in addition to pollution. The report went on to say, these highly impaired sites are located in the Crocodile West section of the Limpopo, 9 sites, the Vaal, 4 sites, and 1 site in each of the Olifants, Berg, Mzimvubu, Tsitsikamma, and Pongola Mtamvuna WMAs. The report's objective is to determine the ecological condition of the country's rivers, but because of capacity constraints, its results are based only on the assemblage of aquatic macroinvertebrates. These are described as good short-term biotic indicators of integrated stresses on river systems. The results show that the upper reaches of rivers tend to be in a better condition, with the state of the rivers deteriorating downstream. Exceptions are the upper reaches of the rivers in the Crocodile West, Bronkhorstspruit, and Vaal catchments, where the rivers originate in industrial or mining areas. Certain sites, particularly in the Vaal and Orange catchments, are too ephemeral in nature and will have to be discontinued altogether for the in-stream assessments. These sites will only be used for riparian assessments in future. Habitat at 11 of the sites were altered to such an extent that it has become impossible to do macroinvertebrate assessments. Many sites were not sampled. You can see what's happening, can't you? A major portion of these sites are inactive, 39 sites, due to access problems or unsuitable flow conditions, 57 sites. There were health and safety conditions at 12 sites. 2 sites have been discontinued due to the consistent high level of raw sewage, which constitutes a major health risk to staff. A lack of capacity and financial constraints remains a major challenge to implement the river monitoring program, says the report. You can see where the priorities of the ANC government lie, can't you? This week, the National Biodiversity Assessment, released by the South African National Biodiversity Institute, found national monitoring data for river and inland wetland systems are incomplete and insufficient to show trends in ecological condition. The River Ecostatus Monitoring Program is in danger of failure. The National Wetland Monitoring Program remains to be implemented. The DWS report says the samplers have to go out in teams of at least 2 staff members. The only way of implementing the program is by physically visiting the rivers, which involves transport, often using 4-wheel drive vehicles, subsistence and travel. The recent cost-cutting measures implemented in the department necessitated the reduction in the number of sites monitored. Further financial implications are related to the procurement of essential sampling equipment and personal protective equipment, without which sampling cannot take place. It says part of the country experienced low flow conditions because of the drought and heavy water use, with some rivers ceasing to flow during the reporting period. Thus, they were not sampled. The report goes on to say, as more phenomena like these are experienced due to climate change, now they're blaming climate change, isn't that cool? The country needs to be put in place and execute strategies to lessen the impacts, while better managing land use and protection of water resources. Well, guess what? That ain't gonna happen, guys. All the municipalities are in administration or close to bankrupt, except for parts of the Western Cape. And guess what? They cannot afford to maintain the sewage systems. So guess what? That increasing flow of sewage is going into these rivers, which you say need to be improved. Guess what? Ain't gonna happen. This is a disaster in the making. Anyway, let's get back to the report. River sites in densely populated areas such as Gauteng, Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal and some parts of the Eastern Cape, i.e. Port Elizabeth and East London and Mthatha, have indicated poor conditions due to the lack of proper management and maintenance of sewage treatment works and the exceeding of carrying capacities, says the report. Rural areas, especially in the Eastern Cape, still lack proper sanitation. Pit latrines are widely used and we cannot shy away from the possible contamination of water resources. Poor sanitation, whether urban or rural, is a threat to aquatic and human health and one of the largest contributors to the deterioration of water resources. Formal and informal developments, mining and farming, have caused severe deterioration of riparian zones and in-stream habitats. Healthy river habitats are beneficial to the environment and to humans, supporting a high biodiversity of aquatic fauna and flora and the ability to provide goods and services beneficial to surrounding communities. Guess what? They're few and far between today. The report goes on to say, riparian plants can buffer impacts of temperatures increases from climate change on in-stream habitats and reduce erosion. Municipalities need better and greener town planning and improved service delivery. Mining companies need to be held accountable. Enforcement measures need to be tightened. Sustainable agricultural practices are encouraged with reduced use of fertilizers and water. To solve implementation challenges, the program needs to be well-resourced. The report goes on to say these challenges pose a huge risk of causing information gaps, but preventing a robust understanding of our river systems. Mariette Lefrink of the Federation for a Sustainable Environment says South Africa is planning the foundations to achieve the UN's Sustainable Development Goals by 2013. Good luck with that. The target for SDG 6.3 is to, by 2030, improve water quality by reducing pollution, eliminating dumping and minimizing release of hazardous chemicals and materials. Excuse me. Halving the proportion of untreated wastewater and substantially increasing recycling and safe reuse globally. She remarks, it's difficult to understand how or whether the SDG 6 will ever be achieved. Well, guess what? It won't. That the water systems in South Africa are a complete and utter disgrace, like the government that runs the country. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, stay safe.